Welcome to another video where I'm working on my tiny house cargo trailer conversion. Um, this is part two of the water tank box install. In part one, I built an insulated wooden box for my water tanks to sit in underneath the trailer. So go watch that if you haven't seen it. So in this video, I'm doing all the fittings, plumbing, and all the little sensors and details that go into this. So the first step in that is making the hole in my floor bigger so I can actually run tubes up through the floor. So looking at the water tank box here, I needed a way to actually secure the tanks from moving around inside the box. So I decided to install these little metal eyelets. They go all the way through the bottom and are bolted from the bottom. And those will have webbing straps tied to them. So you can see my clean tank here on the right is all strapped down and secure. And then on the left where my gray tank goes, those two long boards will support the edges of the tank, and that's how this tank is kind of designed to be supported. For tank level sensors, I bought these Mopica level sensors that actually use sonar or magic or something to tell you how full the tank is, and they're adhered to the bottom. But I decided I needed to drill a hole through the bottom of the box where the sensors are in case I needed to access them in the future, because dropping this whole tank will be a huge pain if I have to do it down the line. So I decided here that using the wood underneath my clean tank was maybe a little bit too abrasive. I didn't want it to rub through the bottom of the tank. So I'm just switching those out with some foam board insulation, which shouldn't rub through the tank, hopefully. Then the next step is my water tank heating pads. These will heat the tanks so they don't freeze in the winter, which is really important. I actually have 4 different ways I'm planning to heat these tanks to keep them from freezing. The electric heating pads use a lot of battery, allegedly, so these will just be a backup. And now let's have some fun with these fittings. These were a huge pain to figure out, but I got them laid out here trying to see what I'm going to use. So the first hole I have to drill is in the gray tank. This is the main drain for the sink and the shower to drain into the gray tank. And it's a pretty simple fitting. It's just this little rubber bushing type thing. It doesn't have to be, under pressure or it really just has to prevent splashes from going out. So it kind of just presses in, no threads or anything. And then I press the adapter, which is a 1.5 PVC pipe to 1.5 female pipe thread adapter. And then I thread the barb adapter into the other adapter. So the 1.5 flexible PVC pipe will be able to go onto this barb, and that'll be my drain. And here I'm just gluing down the insulation and the spacers and everything, and then figuring out these straps. Kind of took some puzzling, but I managed to get them all cinched down so these tanks were nice and tight. This hole here is for my clean water drain. So I won't be using this too much, but this is just to drain the clean tank if I ever need to. So this is how my magic tank level sensors attach to the tank. And they just have a little trim ring that glues on, and then the sensor itself goes in a little springy bracket clippy thing that attaches to the trim ring. And then I ended up replacing the 2x4 spacers on the sides of each tank with just pieces of insulation that I had scrap, so they'd be less abrasive. Now this big opening here is the gray tank drain. So the first step is I'm stepping it down from like a 3-inch to a 1.5 or a 2-inch or something, because it's a gray tank, not a black tank, so it doesn't need to be that big. No solids in here. And then I'm adding this PVC extension onto it to get a little bit of extra length so it sticks out the side of the water tank box. And this is just regular PVC cement that I'm using to bond these in, which I definitely did not spill all over the shop floor and make a big stain. So to monitor temperature, I got this little Ruvi tag, which is just a Bluetooth temperature sensor. So I screwed that in. And then I pulled the clean tank out just to get the Mopeak tank level sensor glued onto the bottom of that one. Now the next hole I'm putting in my gray tank is the vent hole. These tanks, both of them need a vent just because so when you fill them, the air can go up and out somewhere. And I guess it's also overflow protection in case you overfill them. It might spill out the vent. All right, now let me walk you through the fittings on the clean tank. I marked them conveniently. So there's the fill on the top left corner, and this is a female 1.5-inch NPT fitting, which is pre-installed in the clean tank in this location. And then the adapter goes from the 1.5 NPT to 1.5 barb. And the vent on the top right corner, which is a 1/2-inch NPT female fitting with a 1/2-inch barb. And then I've got the drain, which goes, it's got a 90-degree valve, and it goes straight out the bottom of the water tank box. So the drain fitting in the tank was a 1.5-inch female thread. I used an adapter bushing that goes from 1.5-inch male to 1/2-inch female. And then I threaded the brass valve here, which is 1/2-inch male, into that adapter. And then it's a 90-degree valve, and it has hose thread going out the bottom. And then the output to the pump goes in the bottom left. And this is another 1/2-inch female pipe thread fitting, and the adapter I used is a 90-degree adapter that goes 1/2-inch male to 1/2-inch female. And then there's a Propex barb that is threaded into the 90-degree adapter. My temperature sensor is right there, a little Ruvi tag. And then I've got the vent on the gray tank. I've got the big drain of the gray tank. That's the main drain for the gray tank. And then the fill input for the gray tank on the top left corner. And I attached a dump valve to the outside. So that makes it nice and easy to dump all the water. So when I first bolted the water tank box up to the frame of the trailer, I was just using conventional nuts on top in the frame, and those didn't work because I just couldn't reach them. And so it turns out they make these things called riv nuts, which are great. So here I'm going to show you a quick little install of my riv nuts. So I stepped down from a 1/2-inch bolt to a 3/8 bolt, and that allowed me to use a similar size hole, just had to drill it out a little bit. This is the contraption I've come up with. I've got two 1/2-13 nuts on here that are not threaded onto my 3/8 16 bolt, and a couple washers. Thread the riv nut on, just like so. And then the idea is that I should hold this still, and the riv nut should not rotate because there's pressure from that 1/2-13 nut going through the washers into the riv nut. So that should hold it all still. And you tighten down the bolt and it crushes the riv nut. Part of me wishes I'd just bought the right tool, but let me do it this way. So what's happening now is that the riv nut is actually just rotating, but that's what happened with the last one I did. This is my second one. I did a test one without filming. Yeah, and that starts to bulge out a bit, and then it starts to get caught. So, okay, so you can start to see it bulging there. Now to get the box and all the stuff into the underside of the trailer. I kind of explained this in the last video, but basically I had three 80/20 bars that ran the length of the trailer, each with 3 bolts going into all the riv nuts that were installed in the frame. And it's nice and easy having the jack to go up and down. And then my very last step was to build a little rock shield out of sheet metal. So I just put that rock shield on the front just to keep any rocks or anything from splintering and shattering the front of this box while I'm driving down the highway. And there you go. That is my water tank box fully built and installed, ready to provide me with fresh, delicious water for drinking and bathing. Please like and subscribe and share this with everyone you know.